Well, I think to be human is initially a very small kind of biological change that happened that got amplified and magnified by culture to allow us to use symbolism, essentially, which allows one thing to represent another. I think something that came with being human was also the sense of spirituality in humans, that there's something else out there, that there's something more than what you see.
When did we achieve modern behavior? In order to fully comprehend this, let's rewind to the evolutionary clock to see where and when it all started. Earth is said to be at least 4.6 billion years old. It was a ball of thick molten lava, like the one trapped in the core of the present Earth. When it finally cooled, it looked a little something like this. No chances of life. Until at about 3.5 billion years that we see the emergence of some of the earliest signs of life. This was a unicellular bacteria, somewhat similar to the blue-green algae. It contained chlorophyll, therefore it could photosynthesize, releasing oxygen into the atmosphere, and this created conditions that enabled the evolution of more life on Earth. And at the same time, continents started drifting apart from the motions of tectonic plates. This phenomena occurred at only 2 to 10 millimeters a year. It was only at 20 million years that the continents reached the point of separation that we would recognize today. Humans are only just a drop in the ocean on our evolutionary chain, as we only started evolving as recently as 7 to 5 million years ago. Humans who looked like us had evolved by 195,000 years ago, as evidenced by the Homo sapien fossil from the site of Omo Kibish in Ethiopia. But received archaeological wisdom holds that humans did not begin behaving like us until nearly 150,000 years later.
At the point at which we leave Africa, when we go out and colonize, it's probably a lot earlier. So it's not that we suddenly started acting modern and left Africa. It's more like there was actually an evolution into our biological self, which then, through whatever reason, left Africa.
There are some amazing discoveries coming out of South Africa at Blombo's cave that reveal a large number of sophisticated practices that date back to about 75,000 years. Now this suggests that these Homo sapiens were our cognitive equal shortly after they attained anatomical modernity in Africa.
We can't deny the fact, however, that it is a person that made marks very deliberately, very explicitly. But once the beads were found, we knew that those people were behaving in a symbolic way. They were negotiating their social and economical structures.
I do tend to think that it is probably more gradual than sort of a sudden happening. And I do think it probably happened in different places at different times too. I don't think that it had to be a sudden switch on all over the globe, where suddenly modern human Homo sapiens suddenly became, sort of very effete and into art and suddenly started symbolizing and creating religion and all sorts of things.